Good morning and welcome to the Core Politics Morning Briefing with me, Rob Double. It is Thursday, the 24th of August 2017. Let's have a look at what's in the headlines today. So it's a pretty varied spread today on the papers in terms of what they're covering. Let's have a look at one key topic, which I suspect will be coming up in the news cycle today. The Home Office has ordered a review into UK immigration figures. This is after stats from new border exit checks reveal that 97% of foreign students were actually returning home after their studies. Now, this feeds into the wider suspicion, which has been a bit of an orthodoxy amongst particularly conservative government figures, is that the number of students which were staying in the UK after they'd finished their studies illegally was in the tens of thousands. This obviously is proven not to be the case according to these statistics, and so the Home Office will now review them. That's particularly in the Telegraph. If you're interested in that, pick up a Telegraph on your way into work. Next up, we've got the Brexit backlash. Now, we spoke about this yesterday, about the policy paper from the government with regard to the European Court of Justice, about how much British courts will actually gain power after Brexit. The newspaper, which is running it on their front page, says that European judges will still have supremacy over British courts after Brexit, after March 2019, and also reporting that there is a new spirit of compromise within the UK's Brexit negotiation team. What that actually means, however, we obviously don't know until the negotiations kick off again late at the end of this month. GCSE results. Now, this is not in the newspapers particularly in terms of the front pages, but this is certainly going to be a story which is going to be in the news today, because about over 500,000 students are going to get their GCSE results today. Importantly, though, is the change in the grading system. It's now graded 1 to 9, and this has prompted confusion or suspicion that there could be confusion from businesses and parents and educators about how the grading system actually works. This came in under Michael Gove, his reforms. They're finally being implemented effectively, but that's something to watch out for. And best of luck if you're one of those people who are getting their results today. Let's look in focus at one of the big stories then, which is Britain's laziness epidemic. Now, according to the Mail's gone particularly hard on this, as you can see, but it's also in the top of the Times. There's an inactivity epidemic in the UK, with nearly half of adults failing to go for a brisk walk just once a month. In fact, the Mail is quoting that 45% of over 16s don't even go on a health-boosting 10-minute walk every day. The worst ages are 40 to 60, with the Public Health England saying that they're prioritising busy lives above their own personal health. Next up, let's look at one more story for you. This is more an international-looking story. The UN committee, which is responsible for tackling racism globally, has issued an early warning over the conditions in the United States. And they followed up by urging the Trump administration to unequivocally and unconditionally reject discrimination. Now, they've said this referring explicitly to the events in Charlottesville, Virginia last week, which obviously you would have seen on the news if you were following that last week. Anastasia Crickley, who's the chair of this committee on tackling racism in the UN, has also said that the US needs to address the root causes of the proliferation of racist manifestations. Obviously, we might get more news when the US wakes up in a few hours' time, particularly if Donald Trump decides to respond to the comments made by that committee. That's pretty much it for today. You're up to date. If you want to keep up with what's happening for the rest of the day, our social feeds are right here on Facebook and Twitter. But from me and behalf of all the team here live in London, have a fantastic Thursday.